And this article came after Nebraska, lost to Indiana, and lost as being nice to them. They got waxed by Indiana. And Rhule, he's a guy, he said after that game he didn't see it coming. But the writer says that Curt Cignetti's approach is unsustainable. Oh, he took in a bunch of transfers from JMU. He talked a big game. And Cignetti might win in the future, but if he does, it won't be at this rate. That's what this Nebraska writer is saying. And it's like, oh, well, this is year 2, year 3 for Matt Rhule at Nebraska. And, they'll get there. They'll get over the hump. They just haven't done it yet. But look at what Nebraska has had happen to them in the last few weeks. Remember, Indiana went out to the Rose Bowl, and UCLA was kind of a team of question marks at that point. Indiana went out to the Rose Bowl and whooped UCLA. Straight up. Just, 60 minutes, domination. As has been the case in most games for Indiana this season. Nebraska and UCLA played against each other yesterday. In Lincoln, UCLA won 27-20. But sure, the crock pot is ready. I'm sure Dylan Raiola, who I still cannot believe was being heralded as the next coming of Patrick Mahomes. 14 of 27 for 177, a touchdown and a pick? Are you kidding me? That's the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, losing to UCLA at home? I don't understand it. That's the crockpot recipe? Losing to a team at the bottom of the Big Ten? I don't understand how that is a recipe for success. Nebraska almost beat Ohio State, this writer continues. Matt Rhule is using a traditional approach to building a roster, one that's supposedly going to last. UCLA is bad, so Nebraska should win. And maybe, once they become bowl eligible, they'll take off like a rocket. The writer's words, not mine. Well, Nebraska lost to UCLA. In Lincoln, the place where the 400 sellouts thing is the biggest lie in college football. They lost at home to UCLA. Nebraska's remaining schedule looks like this. USC, Wisconsin, Iowa. 2 of those 3 on the road. The only one at home is Wisconsin. They've got to go to USC, and then they've got to go to Iowa City to play the Hawkeyes. They're 5-4. They've lost 3 straight, beginning with the loss to Indiana. There is a chance Nebraska does not get to bowl eligibility, like this writer says. And you look at last season, a similar thing happened. The Huskers got to 5 wins, and then in November, the wheels fell off, and they lost their last 4. Didn't make a bowl game. Is that the Matt Rhule crockpot recipe? Is that what's supposedly more sustainable than Curt Cignetti coming in and flipping this program on its head? I think that's an extremely incorrect reasoning. It's an extremely wrong line of reasoning from this Nebraska writer. So, Rock Westfall, if you really believe that Matt Rhule's crockpot is more sustainable and that, they'll be better in the long term, the Huskers will be fine, I don't think that you're really up with the times in college football. You used to be able to rely on that approach back when the transfer portal wasn't a thing. But the future is now, old man. You've got to figure it out. You've got to win now. There's no excuse. Curt Cignetti has thrown every excuse out the window. Oh, we need more time to develop. We've got to build. Cignetti brought people in from the portal. He kept some guys around. He got some guys out of there that didn't align with his vision. And he said, screw that. We're going to win right now. Why is this impossible? Who says it's impossible to rebuild Indiana? Let's take some guys from the portal, take some guys who know how to win, put them together, establish a vision, and make it work. But I'm sure Matt Rhule's crockpot of losing 4 straight at the end of last season and losing 3 straight now on the precipice of bowl eligibility, I'm sure that is the more sustainable recipe. And again, you look at Nebraska's schedule coming up. This writer says, oh, once they get to bowl eligibility, they'll be relaxed. Well, I've got bad news. You've got to go to the Coliseum, and Big Ten teams this season, except for Indiana, have been bad traveling multiple time zones. It's different going west than it is going east, and that might be an advantage for the Hoosiers. For the Huskers, I should say. It was an advantage for IU, but you've got to go to USC. And then you got to play Wisconsin. Wisconsin, not great. That game might be winnable. Who knows? But then you got to go to Iowa. You got to win one of those three to be bowl eligible. So far, they've lost 3 straight. Remember, they lost 4 straight with 5 wins, all in their record last season. The Huskers, the crockpot might be a little bit dysfunctional. It might be time to take it out to pasture and get a microwave instead, because the great thing about microwaves is that they're faster. It's that they get things done more efficiently, and they give you more time to enjoy your food. You're listening to IU Sports Sunday.